Freeze everyone, we're back to week 2's It's a Stitch Up. What's a stitch up? If you weren't here last week, you won't know. It's where you freeze, I talk, and I teach you some things and show you some tips just for about 10 minutes. And then you get to go off on your merry way. Hopefully you enjoy it. Hopefully you get some value out of it. Okay, so the first segment of It's a Stitch Up is what's happening in the studio this week. If you were here last week, you would have seen that I made myself accountable to you by saying I was going to have this backdrop installed. So guess what I was doing half an hour ago, right before this video? Sticking the wallpaper up. So thank you for making me do that. The second thing that I told you last week I was going to do was we've been working on the remix top, which I'm wearing. You would have seen a sample around. I was going to make one out of the good fabric, which is this beautiful Cantha. I didn't quite get up to that yet. It was a bit of an ambitious thing. But what I've decided to do with this, I'll take a step back so you can see it. It's a really beautiful double-sided fabric. And it's got this beautiful, there's 3 things going on with it. And I thought it'd be such a shame to lose any part of it. So I love the border. I love this just beautiful embroidered. And I also love the patchwork. So what I've decided I'm going to do is I'm going to do the remix top. I might take these seams out because I might not need it. So to do that, I'm just going to sticky tape the pattern pieces together. There's going to be a bit of an alter sort of thing going on here because there's a bit of shaping for your bust in this seam here, so I have to play around with it a little bit. But the reason I want to do this is because I want to make this top reversible. So I'm thinking I'm going to make the body, so I'm glad I didn't do it in a hurry. I'm going to make the body out of this, and I'm going to make the sleeves out of this. So it's going to have these 2 beautiful sleeves, the body out of this, and then it's going to just be whatever checks end up wherever. And what I'm thinking I'll do is flat fell the seams, which is a bit of a fiddly job. And that's where I want to take out some of these seams. But I love the fit of this top. And I love the way that making this, like having this top made out of little pieces or bits and pieces of whatever has inspired me to actually get this fabric out and use it, which I'm really excited about. So I'm glad that I've had time to ruminate and really have a think about what I wanted to do with this because I think it's going to look great. So that is your accountable or my accountability to you for next week. I'm going to try and be wearing this one way, and I might even come back halfway through and show you it the other way around by next week. The other things we have been working on in the studio, still doing a bit of final renovating. I'm not going to show you because it's a mess as usual. I do have some new fabrics that are coming in soon. I can give you a sneak peek of this really beautiful, bright, colourful one. I love this. It's a linen viscose, and I'm dreaming up a way to make this into the remix as well. It's just so much fun, isn't it? I love it. I love all the colours and things. Yes, so that's exciting. We've still millions of alterations, unbelievable amount of alterations coming through, which is I'm trying to make sure it doesn't take up too much of our time. And the other thing obviously is the remix pattern top. It's probably by the time you see this, it will be released or just about released into the wild. So we've been over every single file, double checked everything, and we are ready to press play and go on that. So that's really exciting. I've been working really hard to make it really good for you. Awesome. The next segment in our stitch up today is tool time. And today's tool is pins. It's probably, apart from my sewing machine and my snips from last week, this is one of my most used tools. Pins here. I really like these pins that have a coloured top because the rounded top makes them easy to stick in and out. You can buy little shitty pins with a tiny, they don't have a colour, they just have a tiny little steel. They hurt when you push them in. Don't like those. Our pins come in these cute little tins. Sometimes it's a tin that looks like this. Depends, every now and then I have to change it up depending where I get them from. They are plastic, but they don't melt. So you can buy really cheap pins in the supermarket. They're blunt, they go rusty. These ones do not. And you want to make sure if you're ironing on cheaper ones that the plastic colour doesn't melt into the garment. So I like pins because you can use them for pinning pattern to the fabric, obviously pinning things together as you're sewing. They are portable. I always have some in my handbag because someone's always asking me to fit something on them. You can also get these clips. I'm sure you would have seen them. They're a lot more expensive. I don't actually like these. I'm a terrible retailer. I like that you just have limited tools and they're multifunctional. You can't use this to cut out a pattern, as far as I'm aware. Maybe you can. If someone knows how to do it, please let me know. These are bulkier, obviously plastic, quite expensive. I do sell some, but I won't be restocking these. Like, they're not really my thing. I know a lot of quilt people use them. I know we are doing this quilt style clothing, but I'm more of a pin person. The other thing that you want to look out for, if they do go rusty, throw them out, don't keep them. And you want to make sure they've got a decent point. So don't be buying them at the supermarket. And what else can I tell you? Yeah, I just use them all the time. You just watch out for the ironing. If you can't get coloured ones, it doesn't matter. You can get some with just one colour on the end. Really doesn't matter. And there's also a really lovely girl that I met maybe a year ago who does some beautiful, what is it called, that plastic stuff? It's not plastic. You put it on, you cook with it. Oh, shit. Menopause. Silicone. They're called silly pins, I think. And she's sold those very well, and they look like they're even better than these. So I'll have to maybe actually see if I can get some of those on the website. Maybe let me know if you think you might like some. You can also buy them direct from her. Yeah, that's my tool for this week. Oh, by the way, don't be putting pins in your mouth. I do it all the time. I know I'm practice what I preach and do this. I actually have a friend who sneezed and swallowed, I think it was 2 pins, and she just spent a week in hospital because of that. So you want to really make sure that you don't do it. I know it's a really bad habit. And you can also get these magnetic pin trays. So if you spill your pins out of the thing, you can pick them all up with a magnetic pin tray, or a magnet. If you don't have a magnetic pin tray, a magnet of any kind will pick them all up off the floor, which is a lot easier and faster than picking up a bunch of plastic clips. And so this week's fix, my favourite alterations job this week is a funny one. I have taken some video footage of it and I will show that to you, but I wanted to tell you the story of it first. So I had a phone call on Thursday afternoon or it might have been a message, I'm not sure, I can't remember. And it was a gentleman saying he needed to get something done Friday urgently for a birthday party on Saturday. It was a birthday present, and it was to sew about 20 badges onto a denim vest. Being the obligator that I am, I was, yes, okay, I will definitely help you out and do that so that you have what you need for the party. And Friday morning, he dropped it into the basket, so I didn't see who he was. And I pulled this jacket out, and it is covered in what were actually heavy metal band badges. But I didn't even think, it just was obviously not caffeinated enough. And I'm thinking, oh my God, this is like a bikie jacket. And they know where I live, so I have to do a really good job with this. Otherwise, they might come and get me. Anyway, I was about 6 badges in by the time I realised that I'm sewing around all the band names, all the heavy metal band names. It was pretty funny. By the time I realised that actually it was not the Banditos or the Comancheros that were going to come and get me, or no one was going to come and get me, but it was actually a heavy metal vest and it was really well done. The guy that dropped it off had pinned everything into place. He'd centered everything. It was pretty, I just had to check it before I stitched it. It was 34 badges after all, and not just squares or round. They were like around the band names. So they were quite intricate. So it was quite a nice sort of sit down and just focus on what you're doing kind of job, and not the kind of thing that you see every day in barrels. So that was a really fun one to do. I really enjoyed that. Hope you like the footage. And now for the part where I encourage you to press play. So what I am going to do this week for sure is work on this. I'm going to use the Remix Boxy Top. You will probably be able to buy it online by the time you get this video or email, and the links will probably be part of it. Hopefully I've managed to coordinate all that ahead of time. I have got this beautiful fabric like I showed you at the start. I'm really glad that I had time just to sit and think about it. Sometimes it's nice just to dream up a project, get all your bits together, and not actually get cracking into it straight away. Just maybe sit back for a day or two. For me, I get lots of ideas overnight. Like I wake up and I'm like, oh, I didn't think of that. Yeah, I just think maybe just take some time just to think about what you might like to do. Pull the fabrics out, sit them somewhere where you can see them, just have a think about them and have them in the background just to get those creative juices flowing. And then next week, I really hope, if I haven't got it finished, I will at least have something of this to show you. And I really hope that you find some time to stop and pause and take some time to press play this week too, and maybe do some sewing or whatever it is that's going to give you some joy this week. All right, I will see you next week. You can unfreeze now. Press play. See ya.